Hello. Hi. Um, so this is a welcome to the monthly Atlanta DIY and other things music roundup. I'll have to figure out a shorter title than that, but that's essentially what this is. I wanted to do this because I hear people talk about their like favorite scenes and like the scenes that they think are doing a lot of great things lately. Like people talk about Ohio and Florida and New York and Washington and stuff like that. I don't see Atlanta get brought up or Georgia in general, like at all. And I think that's because people just don't know about what's happening here because there's a lot of really great stuff that's coming out every single month in Atlanta and people just aren't aware of it. I don't know why that is, but at any rate, I'm looking to help um, fix that problem by talking about everything that's come out in the past month and hopefully point you in the direction of some music that you'll like. A couple things off the top that I want to get out of the way. Number one, I'm just one guy. So if you're an Atlanta band or artist and I missed your project, your single, your EP, uh, sorry. I'll I'll work on it. Let me know. I'll get you on my radar, and next time you put something out, I will be aware of it. Hopefully, I have a couple resources I check. Shout out Kapoor House, Sam's compilations, like weekly updates to his Atlanta Sound playlist, have been very helpful for me. I also have an ongoing and ever expanding list on Rate Your Music of bands and artists from the scene, which I will have linked down below. Also have Kapoor House linked down below. And everything that I mention in this video will also be linked down below in a playlist. The other thing, I don't have things to say about everything. If I don't talk about a particular release beyond mentioning that it came out, that doesn't mean I hate it. That doesn't mean I disliked it at all. It just means maybe I didn't have enough to say about it to like beyond it okay smile or it good smile or something like that. So just keep that in mind. If your music gets a little glossed over, um, sorry again, just one guy. I have my own biases and tastes that I have to be honest too. And at the very least, I hope me mentioning your music, even if I don't go that in depth into it, will point some people in your direction. Because even if I don't have a lot to say about something, there is a high chance that whoever is watching this video, you, you might like everything or nothing that I talk about. So, bottom line, check out the playlist down in the description. I will have it linked. And it has at least one song from, like if it's an album, at least one song. And it has all the singles that came out in this past month, which I'm starting with October. November's almost over. Depending on how fast I am at getting this video out, November might be over. And then I'll have a whole other video that I have to that I have to worry about. But we're starting with October because a lot of good stuff came out that month, and it's only a month ago. So, and I'm hoping to put these out every month from now on. Maybe some year-end compilation videos. So, like of the best of the scene, my favorites at least. But with all that out of the way, let's get into it. The first thing that came out this month that I was aware of on October 6th was the new Camera Test EP, What Happens Now. It's a nice little indie pop, indie rock EP. It's kind of refreshing to hear a project that operates within this like airy indie pop space and doesn't make me want to cut my head off. This EP doesn't reinvent the wheel or anything, but it absolutely doesn't need to. It is good enough to stand on its own within this genre space. All of the songs, all 5 songs have an infectious energy to them. It's hard to listen to it and not want to like bob your head or like get in the groove a little bit. listening to this EP is like sitting on the front porch with your boys, just cracking open some cold ones, having a gay old time, and then looking back on that night later and going like, damn, that was probably one of the best nights of my life. So whatever that energy means to you, I feel like this EP condenses it and distills it very effectively. My favorite tracks are The House Always Wins and How Does That Sound, but all of the tracks are strong, like I mentioned. And I highly recommend this if you are any kind of pop girly. And even if you're not, I would recommend it anyway, because it's just some damn good music. Up next, we had the, Analog Heart, electronic emo, strange. It's a good way to describe it. Musician put out a remastered version of their album Digital Soul. It's on the Chillwave YouTube channel. Might be on streaming soon, but give it a listen if you're into some wacky and unconventional tunes. Up next, that was on October 8th, by the way. October 13th, we had the new Sister Sleep EP, In Bad Faith. And with this EP, I wanted to talk about it a little because I feel like this is where they're starting to find their own sound. Before, I felt they had the tendency to lean a little too much into their MCR influence, which never resulted in anything less than listenable because MCR is goated, obviously. But this, while it's not a full realization of their sound, it is definitely the most like Sister Sleep sounding project yet, which is a very good thing. I like this release better than their last EP. It has some of their best music. Highlights here are in my opinion, the Arsonist, Target Practice, and Lotus at Night. I particularly like the main riff on the Arsonist. It's very bouncy and angular and fun. And I kind of wish that they would lean more into that sound. Because the verses on the Arsonist are probably the best thing that this band has ever done. I actually think that Sister Sleep could probably operate really well as a metalcore band, or something similarly harsher. Because right now this is a very faithful post-hardcore or like mall emo kind of project. But I think if they leaned more into their heavier influences, they might be able to. They'd probably be able to put out some really damn good, harsh, heavy music. And lead vocalist Jamie Shelton is very good at screaming. So check this out if you're into emotional post-hardcore and mall emo. On that same day, we got the new Shake Awake single, Kudzu Cutter. It's a nice little indie rock track, just some good-ass indie rock. It's fun, it's easy to listen to, and I wish that they would put out a project. I know they only started releasing music either late last year or early this year. They only started playing shows last year, but come on, put out a project. I'd like it if you did. Check this out. Very good music. Up next on the same day, the new LADRONES single, Todo Me Fascina. It's a very good, fun little punk rock single. Check it out if you're into energetic punk rock music. Up next, we have, on the same day still, a lot of stuff dropped on the 13th. A lot of stuff. Oh my God. I'm looking at it again. The new Upchuck album, Bite the Hand That Feeds. If you're a fan of punk music, I feel like you will like this album at least a little bit, if not a lot. It remains energetic and rambunctious for a whole half hour. And I don't usually find straightforward punk music to be very compelling. Oftentimes, especially when it's in the context of a full project, I kind of find it boring if it's not incorporated with another genre or mixed up in some other way. But Upchuck manages to keep this album a good time by just cutting out the bullshit and having some fun-ass riffs. Tracks like Crashing and Toothless also help to keep the mood varied, so it's not the same high energy, similar BPM punk song for like 13 or so tracks, however long this album is. It never sits in the same place long enough for you to get bored by it. So if you're a fan of punk music in general, or especially garage punk, punk rock, that kind of stuff, I would consider this a pretty safe bet for you because it's a pretty effective distillation of garage punk and what makes that genre work. Up next, same day still, we're still on October 13th, the new Lorenzo Co single, Isometric, alternative rock, adult alternative. Check this out if you are a fan of that genre. Excited to see what they drop next. I'm very excited about this one. Now we have this new Gasmask single, Dig My Grave. I am very, very excited that this single is in my first video in this series because I think Gasmask is one of the most exciting projects in the whole scene right now. I found out about Gasmask on Twitter, and then but I didn't listen to him until he asked me to add him to my aforementioned Rate Your Music list of bands and artists from this scene. And I was very, very impressed. And all three of the singles that he's put out so far have been very, very different and eclectic. But this one is probably his best yet. It's very catchy, it's glitchy, it's noodly. It's categorizing this is a little hard. It's like glitch pop, it's kind of emo rap, it's kind of Midwest emo. I mean, regardless of what the hell it is, it's very good. It's got a screamable chorus and very cathartic ending, and just straight up exhilarating production. I also want to highlight his delivery on this song and most of his music. It's almost like his emotions are like they can't be contained within his own voice. So it's a very interesting experience. I like his delivery a lot. It's very emotional and yelpy, in the good way, obviously. But this single also contrasts that usual style of his very effectively with a very lovely falsetto part. I'm not stoked that I missed his first show, but God willing, we'll probably play a show together at some point. Don't sleep on Gasmask, if nothing else for the fact that if you get on the train early, you will probably have a lot of indie cred to cash in. And the final single that came out today on the 13th was this new Kofin single, Silver Fangs. It's 3 songs. Check it out if you're a fan of industrial metal and aggro tech. Up next on October 18th, only one thing, October 18th, Envilittle put out a live album. Envilittle's kind of gone through a transformation where before it was just the front person Heather. Now they've expanded into a full band with, I believe, 4 or 5 members, something like that, and have pivoted to a more indie rock, grungy kind of sound. So this is on Bandcamp. Check it out if you want a preview of what more of their upcoming music might sound like. I'm personally very excited about their new direction. On October 20th, we had a few things come out. Up first was that I wanted to talk about was this new Callous Daoboys EP, God Smiles Upon the Callous Daoboys. You might be thinking, this isn't a fucking DIY band, and you're right, they're not. I just wanted to shout it out. I am wearing their shirt now, I'm realizing. But they're alumni of the scene. I'll consider them. And whenever they play a show in Atlanta, it's like half the scene shows up. So fuck you, I'm talking about it. This EP's great. It incorporates more accessible song structures than they're typically used to, but it works and it doesn't lose any of the wacko appeal that this band has shot to mathcore stardom with. They're having a great 2023, and this EP hints at an exciting new direction for the band, and I can't wait to see what they do next. If you don't already listen to this band, get smarter, idiot. Up next is this new Hotel Fiction single, Allure Reimagined. It's a redoing of another one of their previous songs, and it's a nice little dreamy indie pop track. I would check it out if you're into comfy kind of bedroom pop kind of vibes. It basically sounds like the cover, which I think a lot of people will enjoy. Same day, October 20th, this new OK Kenedi album. A casual introduction is hard to come by. I would check it out if you're into singer-songwriter, indie pop type stuff. Parts of this album kind of reminded me of like Taylor Swift vibes. So if you're a Swiftie, you might enjoy this. There's a 3-track run on here that I think is just phenomenal. Check this out. And up next on October 22nd, this new Ray and the Ragdolls single, Scarecrow Shuffle. It's a nice little, I don't know why I'm saying nice little. I think this rocks. It's a blues rock, psychedelic rock novelty track about scarecrows hitting a ghoulish jig. It's very goofy, but it completely owns that fact, and the tune is strong enough to make this a more than one listen kind of affair. So definitely check this single out. Up next, October 27th, the new Kaydelis record, The World's Greatest Race Car Driver. It's a psychedelic pop record, and after a very long rollout where I believe they dropped every single song that was on the album except for one before it dropped in like a waterfall technique. The album is finally out. And check it out if you're into psychedelic pop and just want something to smoke weed to, basically. Up next, this new Heffner album, Super Bowl. I should have looked up what Roman numeral this is, but I'm stupid. So LXIX. It's a nice indie pop, indie rock record. It kind of reminds me of like Wallow's Spring, that EP, like that kind of sound. It's so if you're a fan of that kind of music, I definitely am. Check this out. My favorite tracks are the title track, Insurmountable Task, Tommy, Grin, and Run You Through a Dream. Those are the ones that I connected with most, but check it out, and you might find something that you like. Up next, Analogue Heart again, this time on streaming services, Windows 98 Maze. Again, check it out if you are into wacky shit. I will say I believe this is a step up from Analogue Heart's previous releases. Goodness, can I talk? This kind of even borders on like cybergrind territory. So if you're a fan of that, definitely check this out. Finally, final day, October 31st. This new Hensleys single, Milan. It's an indie rock post-punk revival track. Check this out if you're into that sound. And finally, this new Hey Nothing album, We're Starting to Look Like Each Other. It's an indie pop record. It sounds great. Very, very charming record. Indie folk kind of vibes as well. And you might be thinking, like, you look at this band's Spotify page and you're like, hey, they have like over 400,000 monthly listeners. Why are you talking about them? And I'm talking about them because I played a show with them one time last year in a basement. So as far as I'm concerned, that counts. I've heard a lot of folk-tinged indie pop, indie rock kind of music, and sometimes it just comes off as completely insufferable. But Hey Nothing remembers that you have to be like earnest and sincere if you don't want it to come off as very, very annoying. And they definitely managed to avoid being annoying on this album. They more than managed that. I like this thing a lot. There's a lot of really clever and charming lyrics throughout this record. It's very very easy to listen to, but has a lot of heart. And I would recommend this. My favorite tracks are Day Drinking, Flora, Too Drunk to Drive, and Your Purple Eyes. I would say check this out if you like X artist, but you might have already seen them on TikTok, because I Haunt Your Dreams absolutely blew up, which is not on this album, by the way, which um, I'm not mad about by any means. Just clearing the air, I suppose. And that's it for this month in Atlanta DIY. Tune in next month to hear me talk about even more music. I will let you know. A lot of stuff dropped in November that I was a very big fan of. So definitely look forward to that video. And check out my band, Bummer Hill. We didn't drop anything in October, but I would appreciate it if you checked out my band, Smile. Follow me on Twitter, I guess. I don't know how to fucking end a video like this. I run the band account as basically my personal account. So at BummerHillATL. Follow my band on Instagram at BummerHill. Check out my Fall Out Boy podcast that I run with Carson Daoboys. This ain't a scene, it's a podcast. At The Dreaded Wheel on Twitter. You can find that podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts, so Spotify, Apple Music, all that. And once again, check out all of the bands and artists that I talked about in this video. I will again have a playlist on Spotify that has everything I talked about. Bye.